watch film.
Don't worry, we got you, Coach.
Ooh, I'm hungry.
We got you, Coach.
Where's my visor?
We got you, Coach.
Looking for a mortgage team that has your back? That team is Southeast Mortgage.
We got you.
Yeah, I thought we challenged our guys to come on the road in the SEC and play really physical, attack from the get-go. We talked about, not treading water when we come in here. We're coming in here to be the attacker and to hunt and not be hunted. And I thought our kids bought into that, and they wanted to get on it from the jump. They wanted to be physical from the jump. I thought we had some opportunistic stops on defense again. I thought our offense was explosive and executed well. They're hard to stop when they're working on the perimeter and up inside. So it makes it tough to defend a quarterback that can run and do those things. But I was most proud of the composure the kids showed. The second half drive to open the second half meant a lot to me. We had a dumb penalty, started back up, and all I really wanted to see was us come out in the second half and close the door. And I thought they did that well. I thought our guys responded in the heat and played well in the heat, and I appreciate how hard they worked to put us in this situation.
Speaking of heat, Coach, what about Stetson Bennett? I guess, do you think it was the heat that made him sick, and then he was able to overcome it, throw a touchdown to Brock?
Yeah, I mean, he actually was dry heaving way back in the drive. Back earlier when he threw the pass to the flat, and he didn't quite get it there. It was not a great pass, and I could tell something wasn't right then. He fought all the way down through it, and he made a couple throws where he threw up before him, and then he hung in there and made the throw. After he had thrown up, he just like he overhydrated in terms of drank a lot of water. We kept pumping it in and pumping him in him. He said he just felt like he had to throw up, so he did. But he's a competitor. He wouldn't come out.
Coach, what do you think of Brock's performance today?
I don't even know his numbers. I know he looked fast running down that field. So what numbers did he have? Because the thing about Brock that's so hard you don't get to measure is the amount of tension he draws. 121, whatever that is, yards, 5 for 5. But 3 or 4 of those plays that Brock made, there were people blocking down the field, elite blocking down the field. So Darnell Washington, on one of the little crack screens we run, pins a guy, and the holes are created through displacement, not just blocking. Darnell displaces people. So I think Brock would be the first one to tell you that his success comes from a lot of perimeter and things like that, touches that other guys make great blocks on. Marcus Rosen, he had 2 or 3, the selflessness of this group. Now, the play he made in the corner of the end zone, nobody blocked for him on that one, because that was an elite catch. And then the run after catch on the play action. But again, the play action play he made in the second half was set up by the run. If you run the ball 2 or 3 times, those safeties are coming down and he's running by you. But he's a special player, and I don't know that I've been around somebody that works as hard as he and Darnell do in practice.
Kirby, you said Stetson would come out. Did you actually have that conversation with him, asking him if he needs to come out?
Oh, no, I'm talking about that drive. There was a thought, hey, we need to get him out the play before, and then the hold on the extra point. We were trying to get him out because we were going to put somebody else in the hold for the extra point, and he wouldn't come out there. He wanted to stay in and play.
But even after the touchdown, did you?
Oh, no, he's fine. He said he was fine. He's like, I'm back now. I'm good. He said he started coughing, then he dry heaved, and then he threw up some. But he's a competitor. He wasn't coming out until we were up far enough that we wanted to take him out.
Kirby, you talk so much about this year's defense. There's no need to be complacent. These guys have so much to prove. Through 3 games, 2 against Power 5 opponents, how are you seeing that kind of play out in what they're doing on the field?
Well, they practice really hard. Like they don't. When you practice hard, you get better. So, I mean, our coaching staff, and we've got coaches on our staff now that came from other places, and I had one of them reach out to me and say, the amount of detail you put on your scout cards, the reps y'all do against the scout team are the hardest thing possible against every call. So when you do the game, it usually makes it easier. If we can play offensive coordinator and script up the hardest plays, and I think Coach Schumann and that defensive staff, man, they work long, hard hours to make sure our guys see some of the toughest plays, and even then you don't get it all right, but it certainly helps having ways to affect the quarterback, good pass rushers, and it helps to play from ahead, which our defense has been able to do because we've scored on offense.
Coach, how would you describe the game that Coach Moncton called today?
Great. I mean, he was aggressive. He did a good job calling it. He puts together a good game plan. He'll tell you himself, he's got a great offensive staff. And he's got guys that are in the room that have coached in the SEC, that understand the SEC. You know, the addition of Searles, B-Mac, Bobo, I mean, those guys come up with game plan things. They know these teams. They know the personnel of these teams. So it really helps when you have a good game plan and you actually have people that can execute it because they have experience. I mean, it's hard to defend a quarterback that can check things, make throws, has weapons, and then he can run on top of it. So, I mean, we've got to keep getting better, and we got to execute at a high level. But the biggest thing for them and for our offense is not getting complacent.
Kirby, I imagine you might find a laundry list of things to kind of work on in practice like you did after the Stanford game, but are you surprised the lack of a drop-off from last season's team to this season's after 3 games?
Lacking
Not
what?
lack of a drop-off in terms of performances.
In drop-off of the offense, defense, or everything?
The whole team.
Well, I mean, guys, I said all year, we have good football players. We have to go play well, and they have to buy into being selfless and helping each other. And this team is way different than last year's team. You know, we don't have 15 draft picks that will get drafted next year. We don't. But we've got a bunch of guys that are tough, physical. They like practice. They buy into being around each other. They're connected. They like competing against each other. And the only way you get better during the season is on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You know, it's hard to just go out there in the game and take 30 snaps. We get 60, 70 snaps of practice, each guy. So as long as they keep getting better and you guys don't fill their head up with too much stuff, we'll be all right.
Coach Jamon Dumas-Johnson, a tackles leader, one of the new guys, plays in a Buckets Award winner. Can you talk about how far that young guy's come already?
Yeah, he was doing it last year. You just didn't see him. I mean, we saw it every day at practice. We were like, man, this guy's going to be a good player. He did not play football his senior year in high school. He came here puffy, a little heavy, and we're like, man, this guy will strike you, he'll hit you. He's a SEC linebacker, and he's gotten better. He's still not where he needs to be. He still makes mistakes. We still make mistakes. But if they continue to work hard and buy into, you know, having a little composure, we gave up plays today and nobody backed down. We gave up the bomb on Kamari, boom, get a pick a couple plays later. Give up the fake punt, nobody panics, everybody's happy, they get to go out and play some more. Let's go. Let's get our snaps in and let's go stop them. And I think that's the way you have to approach it, is attack mode, not defense mechanism.
What about that take by Malachi, how that kind of helps that defensive line today? Interception by Malachi Stark.
Yeah, what about it?
No, just your view of
He
it.
did a good job. The quarterback threw it right to him. He should pick it, right? he played the wheel route. He kept his eyes in the right spot, and he made a play, and he had a pretty good return, too. He's a good athlete.
What about your game plan for, obviously Spencer Rattle's a guy who can really spin it, throw it deep and all that kind of stuff, and he did get you. How'd you feel like you guys obviously responded to defending him?
Well, the shots they took, you know, there's some plays they made down the field. We got to get better at that. We got to go to play out on the perimeter. I thought that Keeley had a couple plays. You know, they went one-on-one with him. He's got to go to make those. But if you disrupt the quarterback's rhythm and you don't allow people to run the ball, which, you know, so far we've been hard to run the ball on, it makes people one-dimensional. You know, and we have to continue to do that. We're not, you know, we weren't completely healthy today. We had 3 or 4 guys beat up, banged up. A couple guys didn't practice during the week and tried to go in the game, but we got to get back full strength so we can be at our best.
Kirby, what did you think of the defensive line's performance, particularly with Jalen limited?
I thought they played hard. You know, they affected the passer, but we're not where we need to be. We have 2 young players who can help us. They can't help us until they go against our one offensive line about 1,000 more reps. And I can't get 1,000 reps in 2 weeks. So we have to get them ready faster because we don't have the depth there that we've had. They played really hard today, and we had to get Bill Norton in there for snaps, Bear, Christian Miller. We've got to continue to grow those guys.
What was Jalen dealing with?
He's got a lower extremity injury.
How has the standard, if at all, evolved over your time in Georgia? Your players referencing so much and talking about the importance of playing up to it.
I don't know that it's evolved. I mean, Nick Chubb and Sony talked about it all the time. Lorenzo Carter, Davin Bellamy, those guys, they all, you know, they bought into it. The first year, I wouldn't say they bought into it because it was really, really hard, and practices were really, really hard. And I don't know that they reaped the rewards from it. And then from then on, they've kind of bought into, hey, this is who we are. This is how we're going to do things, and it's just kind of the way that we do them. And they sell that to each other. They sell that to the younger players so that we don't have to. if you do that, you can get better. But please don't mistake that for thinking that we have the best practices in the world. We have not always had the best practices in the world. Our kids believe in practice paying off in the game, though.
You mentioned that nobody panicked after some of the big plays y'all gave up. How much did that impress you with so many younger guys playing the first SEC road game, things like that?
I told them before the game, and right before we came out, I said there's a muscle we haven't used, and the muscle that we have not flexed is the composure muscle. And I had Branson Robinson stand up in front of the group and say, this is what our composure muscle looks like. So if your composure muscle looks like Branson Robinson, there's a good chance that you need to flex it. I don't know if you've seen Branson's arms. And we flexed it because we had some things, go wrong, not bad wrong, but we gave up some plays and we responded from it.
AD not here today. What did you think about the receivers who had to step up in his?
Yeah, I thought Ladd did a nice job. I thought Monk did a nice job of utilizing the skill set of the players we had. We had to use Dom and Kieris a little more for their experience on the road. I think Denilin and Dylan Bell are talented players that got to grow up. They can't grow up fast enough. We needed them to play really well today, and I thought both of them had some freshman jitters, and we got to get those out of them because they're talented young men. Jackson and Ladd continue to be dependable.
3 games, no turnovers on offense. Just what do you make of how well they've done holding on with all these 3 games?
That's hard to do, I mean, you just jinxed us, but we have to keep that. We have to keep that going because it's good. It allows us to be elite if we keep getting turnovers. But we flirt with danger there. The decision by Stetson to reach the ball out, not the smartest. The screen throwaway that he floated. I mean, there's decisions there that they can be fatal, or they can force you to use your composure muscle if you're not careful. And we got to be smart there.
When they were having trouble getting those fans, whoever was on the field, and they went for it on 4th down, did that help you? In the first half, they had that timeout between quarters and like that, and South Carolina went for it on 4th. Did that allow you to see something?
I have no idea what you're talking about. You're talking about right before halftime?
No, I think it was the second quarter. They were honoring a bunch of people on the field, and they couldn't get them on time, so there was just delay in people wanting to get off that play fast. Because they were going for it on 4th down. A bunch of guys.
I didn't even see that. Is that the one we stopped them on 4th down? Yeah, I didn't even notice the people on the field. I didn't see it. So we called the play that we were going to run on defense just based on what our 4th and 1, or I think it was 4th and 2 maybe.
Yep.
What defensive call we worked all week. So it didn't have anything to do with people. It might have slowed them down. I don't know that. I didn't see that.
Kirby, on the fake punt, it looked like you had a guy right there. Was that just a good play, good execution by them?
Yeah, they schemed it. They had a nice job. I mean, we went into our safe check. We went into the thing that we go safe and say, hey, we're playing for the fake here because they were in a non-traditional formation, but we just didn't cover it well. They rolled one way, and to be honest, our punter is supposed to make that, our punt returner is supposed to make that play, and he saw something that he thought was a screen and didn't play the ball. We want to bat the ball down there and just take possession and throw it down.
Does a championship, even though it's over months down the line, still help a program in terms of everybody seems to know what to do and know how?
I don't know that the championship helps itself. I think the standard that was created last year and the legacy that was left, that was a really special group, and that still lingers around our building. Not the championship, but the fact, the way they practiced and the way they carried themselves. And there's a lot of kids that try to emulate those guys that are gone, and they're good kids to emulate.
So 2 more questions?
Is Arik Gilbert okay? He did make the trip, I noticed.
Yeah, all I can say is he didn't make the trip for personal reasons, and hoping he gets back with us.
What would you say to Shane after the game, being friends and everything? Obviously, tough night for him in Gamecock.
Good luck rest of the way, and hope you get those. He had some guys out, he had some injured guys, and hope he gets those guys back healthy.
Thank you.